doing it. You supposed to be happy you sitting there with Kid L. Why you mad?
The Kid L podcast.
Good to go. First thing me and Courtney were talking about outside was the Tank Martin fight, man. What'd you think of the fight, bro?
I feel like that nigga Javante Davis is like not to be played with. I appreciated that Frank Martin was from here, so like that was a good representation. But like that nigga Tank is a god, bro. And like his mentor is Floyd. Like the first 4 rounds, he played defense to see how Frank was gonna come out of the corner, and after that, he whooped on him.
The spread was plus 500, so like he was the loss was expected at the end of the day. But damn, plus 500 is kind of wild.
Yeah.
Because I think even Ryan Garcia was like plus 700 and he ended up winning.
Mm-hmm.
So people don't know which way to go. It's like, all right, Vegas doesn't really know, or they're playing games or whatever the case might be, but nobody knows really where to place the bet. Did you know before you watched the fight what was going to happen?
Hell yeah. And I damn near had the number in my head. I had a feeling it was going to be between like the 8th or 9th round because of how Tank fight. He gonna come out defense just like Floyd. He gonna study his opponent until he got you. And once he got you, now I'm just about to whoop your ass. So I thought it was gonna go to like 8 or 9 rounds, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, bro. The city was pretty like not surprised, but it was cool to see Skilla Baby
my fucking God. Not to cut you off. Yes.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes, fuck yeah. Shout out to my nigga Skilla. That was the hardest shit ever to me, bro.
Did you know that was gonna happen?
No, hell no. I hit Skilla after. Like, nigga, you the fucking hardest, bro.
Yeah.
You are the fucking hardest. That was so cold. That shit was so cold, bro.
That was the most awesome. It's so awesome to see the artists from Detroit really just hitting the main stages like on that level.
Yeah, especially the ones I feel like that deserve it. Not to say other niggas don't deserve it, but like when you see people that you know that stay solid, had a high level of integrity with how they move with business and other people, it ain't too much smut on their name or no smut on their name, meaning they ain't did no whole shit to people. Skilla one of them. Like he's one of them like that I always give flowers to. Babyface Ray another one too.
Yeah.
That stayed in their bag and stayed focused. Of course, we don't know what they went through on a private front in their own private life, but from a music standpoint, bro stayed consistent. And through all of the trials in regards to Skilla, he turned everything into a win. When he got shot, you feel me? He took it like a gangster. He didn't get on the internet and play. You feel me? Everything happened how it was supposed to happen, and it turned him up more as a man because he handled business as a man. So like Skilla, one of them niggas I fuck with like deeply.
Yeah, and it's good to take a blueprint from these guys because they have such a well constructed layout of how they're presenting themselves as artists. Where labels will take them serious, the fans take them serious, other peers take them serious. You know what I mean? You've done that as well, bro. Like you guys just really keep it on the forefront as far as professionalism, but like at the same time, if it gets dirty, it gets dirty. Like, if you gotta say something, you gotta say something.
For sure.
I think at a certain time, labels were like kind of getting afraid of the city, or they were getting afraid of affiliations because they're like, "Yo, what is it? What else does this come with? If I'm signing you as an artist, what else does this come with?"
For sure.
But if they know you have the conscious awareness to keep the bullshit to the side,
keep the bullshit to the side and don't mix it with the business.
Yeah, one huge moment for you that I was so proud of because I was actually watching the movie is you were featured in Gran Turismo, which is incredible.
Hell yeah, bro! That shit came out of nowhere.
How the hell did you get your song on the Gran Turismo film? It's a fucking Hollywood movie.
Yeah, okay, so prior to me going independent, around the time pandemic happened, 2020, 2021, I had left from RCA. I had a major deal with RCA. And just being immature within that music space, not knowing how the business really worked. This was my first major deal. I had other offers and stuff too, but we wanted to go with Mark Pitts. Shout out to Mark too. I had created an album called Poverty Stricken. And my producer, Damo, he sent the loop of just that celebrate that da-na-na-na. And when I heard the shit, I'm like, damn, bro, I've never created something sonically in this space. I gotta fuck with it and see what come from it.
Yeah.
So we created it, and then my producer, Pay Cash, my executive producer, he co-produced the record with Damo. We turned it in, but we always had that feeling like, bro, this record is gonna do something. I don't know what it's gonna do, but it's gonna do something. So right before the Gran Turismo movie came out, they reached out to us like, yo, the who's ever over the music department for the scoring for the movie, they heard Celebrate, it's an option for the movie. We gonna let y'all know in the next few months if they pick it. So I prayed on it, like if it come, cool. And I was in a fucked up space financially within that space and time. So I'm like, God, like you know what I need at the end of the day. They hit us maybe like a month before the movie came out, sent us the W-9s, like the record got selected. it's gonna be in the climax part of the movie. Da da da. Gave us the scene and the whole right down to everything, man. And I damn near cried because it was like, damn, I wanted to give up on music at that space and time.
Really?
You feel me? I wanted to walk away from this shit because like during that space and time, like I was hustling. I was back in the street at that time.
Wow.
So like I wasn't thinking about music fully, but music always calls me back. I always get called back to the space of music when I want to deviate from it because it's not moving at the speed that I want it to be at, but it's moving at God's speed. But me and bro was just talking about that too. Just about like my level of awakening that I'm at now, like realizing how one-dimensional I've been with my approach to music, meaning a nigga just been on just straight spiritual and enlightenment shit, like just pushing this out. When it's like everybody that knows me off social media, they know me in real life. They know how I get down. They know how I move, who I'm affiliated with, what hood I'm from, what I've done in my neighborhood. And I found myself, as I went through my spiritual awakening, like pushing that part of myself to the back and not creating from that space. So now, where I am now, being back into the music space, like I'm ready to give every part of myself.
Yeah, it's always an internal conflict for any artist that has some type of conscious awakening, for them to dabble back in something that sometimes in the media's eyes has a little bit less of conscious relativity, right?
No doubt.
You are staying away from it because it comes with other things that aren't associated with who you are anymore. But unfortunately, you still have to be a part of it if you want your music career to flourish.
To go to the level that I see it going to. And it's like, instead of saying, hey, here's some peas on this spoon, eat this shit. It's like, nah, we're gonna do the airplane method. We're gonna play with it. I've learned and mastered, and I'm still mastering how to put the medicine in the candy now.
I think the person, and I mean, you've talked about this before, I think the person who literally nailed it was Akon. I think Akon really, like when he came out with Ghetto, when he came out with Locked Up, he came out in a Wyclef as well with Hendrix and 9/11 and stuff. They really figured out a way to intertwine, like, making sure it's relative to the streets, but also to the mainstream as well.
Exactly.
It's the hardest combination to figure out.
Not many can do it because I feel like you either conscious and you are on spiritual enlightenment shit and that's just your bag, or you a street nigga. You feel me? I've been blessed to be able to experience both worlds at a high level.
Yeah.
I've been able to experience ayahuasca, DMT, mushrooms, everything that comes with the spiritual awakening, shedding and dying. And on this side, I've experienced the streets at a high level with drug dealing and everything that came with street shit. You feel me? So I found myself conflicted because while I was in this journey on the spiritual side, I got real street shit going on.
Right.
And while I was on the street side, I had real spiritual shit going on with discovering myself and people dying and transcending around me, you feel me? And diving deep into the mushroom and the psychedelic community and discovering myself while being away from music for 4 years.
What was the moment that you realized you have to, I know the Gran Turismo movie really gives you kind of like a spark, but to start blending those two concepts together. In my perspective, the street life is survival.
No doubt.
That's what it's all about. But once you've accomplished survival and you feel comfortable enough, it makes you look at that survival aspect like, okay, I can't keep dabbling back in that because it's not relative to where I'm at in life anymore. So what was the moment where you realized, okay, I still have to blend these two ideas together?
I would say getting it was two pivotal moments. Probably when my little brother died. My little brother died in a car crash in August of this last year, 2023.
I'm sorry to hear that, bro.
Yeah, no doubt. Him passing, because like he was my biggest cheerleader. So like a lot of the music that the world hasn't heard yet, the shit where the street shit and the consciousness is blended in, like he was my biggest cheerleader for that. He would always tell me like, bro, this is it. Like, this is what you called to do. Yeah. Not everybody can toe the line between us, but you can do it because this is your reality.
Yes.
Speak your reality. So it was that. And when I finally got back into the space of creating music, because for a while, pandemic 2020, 2021, 2022, I was hustling. Fuck music. But when I started to do mushrooms like 2019, 2020. So when I started to do psychedelic therapy with shamans, music just started to come out of me. And it naturally just came out in regards to me just like weaving both. Because prior to that, I'll be creating and I'm always in my head about what I want to say. And I always wanted to be in a space of enlightening people. But in the real reality of shit, people don't give a fuck about that shit. It's a small percentage of people that care about true enlightenment. People can care about it, but what people go to and what they want to hear at the end of the day and what relates to them, not everybody gonna relate to taking mushrooms, bro. Not everybody is gonna relate to spiritual awakening, traumas, and healing from childhood wounds and shit like that. We can talk about it, but a lot of people are not doing that work. So a lot of the things that I was speaking on, it made me feel like I was being one-dimensional. When it's like at the end of the day, bro, I was just like you at a point in time, and I'm still like you in a lot of ways when it comes to how a regular person may move, because I'm still regular. I still do nigga shit and regular shit. I still fuck up at the end of the day, you feel me? Yeah. So for me, it was just those two pivotal moments had me like, damn, bro, this is what I have to do. And just not thinking, just creating and freely creating. You feel me? Because like I'm in a space now where like I want to create music that make my mama dance, that make my little sisters do TikToks. Not to say I'm creating TikTok music or none of that shit at all, but I want to create music that feels good, music that make me want to dance. You feel me? Like I go to certain artists to listen to certain shit, and I'm an artist myself, so I study the game, and it got me to where I am now. So like I'm in a space now where like, bro, I'm ready to like take off, because so many people look to me for that. Like, bro, you really got it, but you kind of in your own way. Yeah, you feel me? So
yeah, and again, it just all goes back to unfortunately, when people are in a starving mindset, or when people are in a very much like I got to get out of wherever I am mindset, it's hard to look at spirituality and consciousness when you're at that point, because
100.
When you're just thinking about survival alone, it's like, bro, I can't think about how to meditate or do yoga, do meditation, seek a shaman when I literally have bills to pay and things are falling apart.
I'm behind.
When they hear it from somebody like you that comes from the same way as them, it's more motivating. Like, for sure, I want to listen to you. I want to take what you're saying and apply it. But there's still reality factors that come across, right?
100.
That's why, I mean, I know it's kind of a little bit of a racist thing to say, but that's why you see a lot of white people at these fucking yoga and meditation. Like, rich-ass white people are at these yoga and meditation retreats because they got so much fucking money. They're sitting there like, bro, I still don't feel fulfilled with life. What's next? Then they find yoga and meditation. Then they go, but it costs a lot of money, man. These camps, like, to get into yoga and meditation retreats and all these things are very fucking expensive.
And I think it's high price. I think it's overpriced, because at the end of the day, like, a lot of like my journey, and I can only speak for myself, but a lot of my journey was like through self. I went deep within myself, by myself, outside of working with shamans. You feel me? I never felt the need to go to a retreat and pay somebody $10,000, $3,000 to help me find myself. You feel me? I have that power within myself. Not to shun nobody that does that, because they do help people discover themselves. But for me personally, in my journey, I looked in the mirror and went deep within myself. You feel me? And wasn't scared to do it. You feel me? But yeah.
Well, that's the whole point of a guru, right? A guru is to bring from darkness to light.
No doubt.
So they remove all falseness in life. So they are hard to find, and that's why they're the best people to help guide you, is because they're so well experienced with just life. Like, they don't know anything about money, they don't know anything about social economics or what's going on in the world. They just know what's actually life itself.
No doubt.
You know, and when they, you know, because you have a lot of also fugazi kind of gurus and spiritual leaders, 100. People go like, I don't want to listen to this motherfucker. He's saying this, and then he's doing that, and he's living like this, and then he's saying that. So you got 100. All the fake gurus that are fucking it up for the real gurus, basically. At the end of the day. So it's hard to find somebody. But you've taken that role. You've been the spiritual seeker and leader for your division and for what's going on in your city. I don't see many people really taking the angle that you've taken with it.
No doubt.
It's pure and it's real. And there's a lot of success that's coming from it. I want to break down just for people who are interested in the finances of the Gran Turismo thing. I know you can't talk about specific numbers or anything, but just for artists that want to be inspired by that transaction.
Yeah.
How does it look when you're getting a check from Gran Turismo? Is it royalty based? Is it like they're buying the song from you? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so basically, just for Gran Turismo, they bought the rights out to the song. So a lot of times, like when they buy the rights out to records, it can be like just a one-time license. And a sync, meaning you don't get royalty points every time the movie is played. You don't get, so they pay you a higher amount for that.
Okay.
I'm sure like if I wanted to negotiate to get royalty points and all of that, like I could have, but the space that I was in life, that check came right on time, and it was a very heavy check.
Oh, sweet.
It was a very heavy check.
So they just outright bought the song from you?
Yeah. They outright bought it. So let's say in a ballpark range of for 30 seconds to a minute and a half, they'll pay you $50,000.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But then, depending on what your business is like with those who you in bed with in regards to a label, if they own the master, it always gets broken down into two sides, the master side and the artist side. So the master side might get eaten if your business is not right, and then you'll get the other half, and then you got to break bread with your team. Then you got to break bread with people that have helped you get to this space. You feel me?
Did you guys negotiate, or did you guys go like, no, we're doing whatever you're saying?
No, hell no. My manager actually got us more money.
Oh, cool.
They wanted to offer us a certain number, and my manager was like, nah, bro, like this is a real big movie. I'm gonna shoot high, and then we'll land somewhere between this and this space. I'm like, all right, bet. So when he shot high, they bit like, okay, cool.
I've been learning a lot about that from Shark Tank. I've been watching Shark Tank for like the
Shark
past
Tank is
10
fucking
years.
fire.
Every single time I'm watching it, I'm like, why do they always negotiate? But then I figured out there's also like some type of unwritten rule about negotiating. Like even if you know that the whatever you're being offered is the right amount, negotiating puts you in like a less desperate kind of needy look.
Yeah, for sure.
And
for
it
sure.
kind of affects the chemistry of the relationship between you and the investor. I still don't kind of understand the dynamic, but it's interesting to see.
It's like this, bro. Let's say you had a goal of 100,000. You never told me your number. Me and you, like, I'm coming to buy your product or buy into your business. You wanted 100,000, and I come and offer you your 100,000. Are you going to take that, or are you going to think like, damn, if you offering me what I wanted, and I know I'm thinking low, you gonna want more? So that's where the power of negotiation comes in. Like, I was thinking like around like 150, 175, because you already getting your 100.
Yeah.
Why not try to get more? You never take your first offer. You feel me? You always want to bark back like, hey, I don't really need you. And it does take that desperateness away. I feel like yeah, no, he hungry. Give him that 100,000, but we gonna fuck him on the paperwork, or we gonna fuck him on this. You feel me? Like, I love the power of negotiating, and I actually learned that through my first label situation with RCA, because even though we had other offers on the table, we took the first offer that came to us, and RCA and Mark Pitts was the first option that came to us, and I feel like we should have negotiated. I feel like we should have, whatever they offered us, like, all right, for your first project, we gonna offer you 150,000. Okay, now I have data that I can go to Def Jam, see what they offering. Okay, y'all offering me 125. Well, shit, RCA offering me 150. Can y'all match that?
Yeah.
Okay, now I got two labels, 125, 150. Now I can go to Interscope. What are y'all offering? Are y'all offering 175? Oh shit, well, now I can go to RCA, Interscope offering me 175.
Yeah.
What y'all want to do? Now we're in a bidding war. So like the power of negotiation is always good. You never take the first offer.
Taking what somebody offers you and then going to market yourself around like, okay, now that I know like the median of what people are willing to pay, let me go see. Now I have leverage when I come back.
Bingo.
So what if you can break down what happened with your first deal? Like what do you feel like the dynamics were of the entire process, and kind of talk about the ending of it?
I think honestly it was me just being young, immature, because like that was a very great situation. My RCA deal was like a very great situation. I had a one-off deal with them with the option, but I knew my option was guaranteed with them because of how much like they had loved me and loved the brand. But I had gotten to a space to where I had started to buzz, created a name for myself from the music space, and I didn't initially want to take that deal. You feel me? But my team talked me into it. Like, nah, bro, go ahead. Like, let's fuck with them. Like, it's time to take your career to the next level. You already buzzing, you popping. Fuck around with them and let's see where it go. So me walking into the building, excuse my language, but I walked into the building as a nigga and not as a businessman, because I didn't know business or proper etiquette when it came to the music space. So I personally fucked that situation up with the label just being immature and shit not moving at the speed that I wanted it to move at.
Do you think labels hound on the desperation of artists? Do you think they hound on
yeah,
that?
man, because a lot of these, even if it's not a black kid, any kid that come from an impoverished neighborhood or area that got real talent, that don't have the finances to take their career to the next level, and not everybody got a big homie that's gonna fund their career that made it out the dope game and got millions sitting around or hundreds of thousands of dollars. So yeah. I feel like the industry most definitely does prey over those who do not have control over their own situation. And they just got the hunger to want to make it out. They got the hunger for music and got the drive to want to actually be somebody. I feel like it's high levels of manipulation in that shit for sure.
Now, when you get out of that situation, what was your next thoughts and as approaching yourself as an artist?
I said fuck that situation in the middle of my album rollout. And once again, it was my fault because the label had told me like, yo, Courtney, we're going to use this first body of work that we're going to put out with you as just a warm up. Yo, next album, we going to drop the bag in. We going to go crazy. And me just being young, I want the shit now. I'm not fucking giving two fucks about my next album. I'm ready to turn this shit up now. And I got too big for my britches. So once shit wasn't going how I wanted it to go, I stopped getting on label calls. I stopped answering the phone for them. Like, I left both of my business partners in the boat. I got off the boat and went back to the land. So it was during that space and time where financially, again, like, I'm not seeing money from music. Like, granted, I'm having all of these opportunities, but I'm immature. I'm not looking at it from that perspective. I'm looking at this shit like, nah, bro, I need money now. Like,
right.
I got to take care of my mama. Like, I have a deal. Like, I got to take care of my family. I got people that's looking to me. So when that shit didn't pop off how I wanted it to, I went back to the streets and started hustling.
Yeah.
And within that 30 to 90 day window, I had made so much money that it was like, fuck the music shit right now. And it's during the pandemic, so everybody got money at this time. The unemployment shit going, it's all type of shit going, you feel me? So I'm like, man, I'll get back to the music shit once I get my capital how I really want it to be.
Yeah.
So transitioning from that space, I had went through a bad breakup, leaving the label shit, leaving the music shit, going into the streets. Me and my girlfriend at that time had broke up. I separated from her, and I just went through, like, that's where my real spiritual awakening came from, because I had tried ayahuasca for the first time.
Word.
And when I tried ayahuasca, bro, like, that shit dismantled my whole reality, what I thought God was, because I was heavy into the Hebrew Israelite studies at that time. Like, I was heavy into it, and everything that I had known to believe or was taught to believe, that shit shattered right before my eyes. And this is during the pandemic where niggas had to be inside the crib. It wasn't no popping out unless I was going to make some money. But when I did ayahuasca, that shit changed my life, and that started my journey of, like, really discovering what God is, who God is, what am I, why am I here?
Let's take people to the ayahuasca journey. First of all, how the fuck did you find the ayahuasca?
A close friend of mine that I was a part of the Hebrew Israelite studies with, she introduced me to him because she met him. Like, I think he was staying in Atlanta at the time, and she ended up hitting me like, yo, you ever heard of ayahuasca? And what's crazy is how beautiful and deep ayahuasca is. It's a grandmother plant. It's a feminine plant. It's a brewed tea that is a very ancient indigenous practice to tap into self, to heal your DNA, to go to the realm of the ancestors. And I had been having dreams months prior to that of a grandmother visiting me. During this time, my grandmother was still alive, so I didn't know what to make of it. And when she asked me about ayahuasca and I did my research on it, my dreams had aligned with the medicine. So I'm like, hell yeah. Like, I think this spirit of that plant has been visiting me the past few months. So we go do it June. It was either 2019 or 2020 we did it. And it was a sacred space ceremony. We rented out an Airbnb in the middle of nowhere. The shaman came, set the sacred space up. We drank the tea, and when I drank the tea, I had a lot of resistance and anger and all of that shit in my body, just due to shit that I done did in the streets, childhood wounds. I wasn't aware of none of this shit prior to taking ayahuasca. I just knew, like, my ways was fucked up, and we human. It is what it is.
Yes.
When I did ayahuasca and the ayahuasca shit kicked in, for the first time in my life, bro, like, I felt the light cut on in my head. And from that moment on, shit, I've been on what I'm on now. Like, that shit started my journey into discovering who Courtney Belle is, for real.
What's the experience like of being on ayahuasca?
It's like being connected. It's like having a plug out of your body and being able to plug into the earth. And being able to know everything, understand everything
right
at one time. That's what it felt like, at least for me. A lot of people around me within that space, like, they was going through trauma release and they were crying, they were throwing up. Like, I left my body completely. Like, yeah. I physically came out my body, left my body, and was looking at my body laying down on a little pallet that we had created, because it was like a circle full of us with, like, pillows and stuff like that. But I watched myself come out of my body. I watched myself leave Earth and go sit at a table, which I feel and know that it's like my galactic table of spiritual ancestors and protectors. You feel me? But it's kind of like that. It's kind of like being plugged into like a supercomputer and knowing everything at one time.
Wow.
That shit was beautiful.
Yeah, there's a separation that happens. I mean, whether people want to believe it or not, the only thing that's separating our identities is our physical form, right?
No doubt.
So because we're encapsulated in the physical form, we don't feel like everything is all as one.
Mm-hmm.
But if you consciously, from the physical, mental, and your intellectual level, understand that everything is really one, and you really, really actually experience everything as one, then that's when you feel like you're a part of the world and you're not just this separate identity anymore.
No doubt. That's all the ego is.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all the ego is. The ego is the I. So with that, I learned the power of the ego and how the ego fucks us up sometimes. The ego serves its purpose, excuse me. Don't get me wrong, it serves its purpose. But through doing so much medicine and being in so many ceremonies with so many people and sitting with myself, that collective consciousness plug in and learning that we are all one, we're all mirrors of each other. We're all aspects of the creator experiencing itself at one time continuously. There's no past, present, or future. There's now. And we can tap into both of those polar opposites in a way. You feel me? It keeps me grounded. And it also like ties me back down to the earth with music and what the fuck I'm really supposed to be doing. Because the music is only a small percentage, I know.
Right.
But to be able, like I said, to toe both of these lines, like that's what I'm here to do.
Right. I mean, music is a good medium. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a way of communicating with people, the expression from within, right? Like what's actually going on within you or what your perspective is on life itself, and then giving that to the people, right?
100.
People who don't experience it. It's important for people to get into the experience before they speak about it, and I think that's what the problem is. I think the problem is when we talk about fake gurus or fake spiritual leaders or people on Instagram telling us how to live our life, they haven't come to the experience of it. They logically can speak it.
Yeah,
they can logically say we are one, but unless you've experienced
that oneness,
unless you've experienced it, then it's just false. Like it just, it's bullshit basically. I want to hear it from somebody that's actually knows this by experience, not just because they read it from a book or heard it from somebody and now they're preaching it.
For sure.
Those are the crazy people that are going around trying to hug everybody and trying to like, oh, we all are one. What's the fucking difference and all that shit. And I like that you brought up the ego death kind of aspect. And can you break that perspective down for people as well?
I feel like it's healthy. As you become one with self, then you become one with nature. You become one with everything around you. And like the purpose, from my perspective at least, the purpose of a ego death is to bring you back to that oneness. It is to separate yourself from me, because it is we, it is us at the end of the day. And that's how the collective consciousness is going to shift. That's how we're going to get back to that state of love and a harmony of love. So with ego deaths, for me, it just allows me to let go of what I think I am. Now
you're talking about incorporating your personal life back with the music. Have you been able to hop out of the streets again since everything's been going well for you as far as the music's concerned?
Yeah, most definitely. I made my exit from street activity. I've been legit and back into music since I started to work with Royce. Since I started to work with Royce on my album.
You talking about Microdose?
Nah, that was a mixtape.
Oh, you talking about a new album coming out?
Yeah, like my actual project.
Okay.
During that time, like that was during that time when I first started working on the records, and I had him come in and like oversee, help me create, like sonically put the album together, like at an industry level.
Yeah.
I knew that the universe repeats itself until you learn the lesson through person, places, or things. So granted, everything that I didn't learn in that RCA situation, now that I'm back into the music space, I'm learning all of those lessons now. You feel me? So I had to make a decision with how uncomfortable I am now being 100% music. It's not an easy job because I don't have a 9 to 5, and sometimes music can be up and down. You still got bills, you still got overhead, you still got people that you take care of and people that depend on you at the end of the day. So me being in the space that I'm in now and being 100% legit, you feel me, on some real 100 shit, it's been an uphill battle financially, figuring everything out. And I'm a hustler at heart, so I'm going to figure it out until the music makes sense financially for me. But I stopped when me and Royce like first started to lock in, because I learned from where I fucked up with the RCA situation. I can't do both.
But you and Royce have been working together for a while now, right?
Yeah, what's this 2024? Me and Royce been locked in working on this project since 2022.
Talk about the experience working with Royce, man. What's been unfolding from 2022?
A lot of growth within myself emotionally. I've grown a lot. My emotional intelligence has like skyrocketed through the roof, because once again, I'm walking into every situation nigga minded, meaning I'm gonna treat this shit like the dope game. I'm gonna treat this shit like how I hustle. And granted, music and the street shit, the dope game is parallel, but the level of emotional intelligence that you have to learn how to navigate through both of these spaces can be detrimental to you if you don't learn it. Right. So one of the biggest things that I learned from Royce was emotional intelligence, and like taking my artistry to the next level and getting back comfortable with speaking my truth. Because if you look at Courtney Belle, if you go back on my discography and just everything that I've created, I'm labeled a conscious artist. I'm not labeled a rap artist or a musician. I'm labeled a conscious artist first. There's a label attached to me now. And I don't like that label, because I'm that. I embody that. You feel me? But I've also been one-dimensional with my music. So he's helped me get out of my complacency. And I feel like I can attribute that to him for sure. My emotional intelligence and how I have approached my music,
right,
it's totally changed.
Yeah, and I feel like it comes from, again, you're being labeled as this conscious rapper. You are spitting conscious ass lyrics. Your technique is immaculate. Like the way you flow, the way you tie everything together is immaculate. It's top tier shit, right?
No doubt.
And I think it seems like what you guys are trying to do is turn it into songs now, where it's like
it's time to make music now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I was just out in LA with Simba.
Yep.
Shout out to my nigga Simba, and he gave me so much game in the studio session, and it was shit that I was already knowing. Like I was kind of already moving in that space, but the way he said it to me, it was a lot of conviction that came out of his voice. Like, bro, like you in the studio where Kanye made some of his greatest hits in. You feel me? Where some of the biggest artists have came into this studio. People don't just get into this studio. You really have it. Niggas know you can rap. Everybody in Detroit knows that you're one of the top lyricists for this generation alone, period. It's time for you to start making music now.
Right.
It's time for you to actually go beyond that and start making people dance. Start making people feel good. Create real music. Niggas don't want to hear niggas rap all day. You feel me? Niggas want to hear music. So me having that conversation with him, I had already kind of been in that space. So a lot of the music that I have been creating that's going to be on my album is real life music. And I feel good about it.
It feels identical to what everybody was saying about Eminem, because Eminem, at one point, he was, for everybody's interpretation, when he was coming out with Slim Shady, when he was coming out with Marshall Mathers LP and Eminem Show and everything like that, it was songs, like real. Like
it was real music, bro.
And then everybody started getting a little more like upset because, when Relapse was coming out and stuff like that, and Recovery, everybody's like, you're very, very good at rapping for sure. Like you are the best lyricist on the face of this planet, but we need music now. And maybe that's why the death of Slim Shady's coming out. Maybe it's kind of like that reemergence of, okay, I know I'm the best lyricist in the world.
Now let's give y'all music again.
Yeah, like he dropped Houdini, and that did feel like a song again. It's like you listen to it, it's like, okay, that's a fucking song for sure.
No doubt.
So do you feel that kind of connection at all, or do you feel like that relation between Eminem and on that aspect?
Yeah, hell yeah. I feel like those first 3 albums, he changed the world. He made everybody want to fucking have blonde hair.
Cap.
You feel me?
No,
like
cap. I was a part of that.
Yeah, like he he fucked up. But like he's so iconic, and like everything that he's done just for the city of Detroit and getting the eyes put on this bitch. You feel me? I don't feel like the city would be in the position that it is now without the predecessors, without the forefathers that we've had that have come out of here, the Big Seans, the Eminems, the Royce the 5'9", you feel me? The Tricks. Yep. You feel me? I don't feel like the streets would be in the light that it is fully to a certain extent without them. Now I ain't about to get on this bitch and be like, oh yeah, like Eminem is the reason why, or Royce is the reason why, like, or Big Sean is the reason why. Nah, because everything is in divine order. Like a lot of these niggas that's from the street here, they turned the city up. So with them turning the city up, they did it without the handout from Eminem. they did it without the alley-oop from Royce. I can't speak on all three of them because I don't know what they've done like privately with some of the artists, but that's where like a lot of the separation comes from, because it's not like these young niggas that's turned and that's within our age group that got money. We did it on our own. A record from Big Sean didn't turn Skilla Baby up. A record from Eminem didn't turn Babyface Ray up. They turned theyself up. So I feel like being in between both of these worlds, I'm able to have like so many different perspectives on how music is created coming from this bitch. You feel me? So I just feel like with where I am now, I resonate with Eminem because I have a high level of lyrical ability. I can rap. I can rap at a high level from here, and I can say that confidently that I don't know no nigga from this bitch that's gonna bar for bar with me and like really go. I got a couple niggas, of course, that's in my internal circle that I fuck with that's from here, but like a lot of niggas can't fuck with me lyrically. Where niggas get me at, they're creating songs. I'm rapping still.
Right.
So it's like to be in the position that I'm in now and learning the art of real songwriting and how to create songs and sonically push the needle. Y'all niggas in trouble now.
Right.
Because now lyricism is coming with it. Now storytelling is coming with it. Now deep thought is coming with it. Now I can hide the message in the candy. I'm learning how to hide the message in the candy and be okay with that. You feel me? Because I can either, it's two ways my career can go, I feel like. If I stay on the conscious shit, stay on the awareness shit, and just be one-dimensional with that, it's going to be a lot of woke, fake woke, spiritual motherfuckers in the crowd when they come to my shows. Or I can create from a pure space of my heart and tell the reality of my life, because just because I'm spiritual don't mean real street shit don't go on in my life.
Yeah.
You feel me? That don't mean just because I'm spiritual, I meditate, I eat fruit all the time, I'm on all of that I don't get depressed. That I didn't, during this time away from music, I didn't catch 2 DUIs because I battled with drinking. That's real life. You feel me? So it's like it's being able to articulate that in these moments and turn this shit into music now.
Yeah.
You feel me? Actually rap about it, because that shit that people are going to resonate, because that's everyday life shit. But it's about how I do it. I can get on there, get a depressive beat, or have my producer cook up some shit, and I just rap about woe is me. Oh, I've been sober and da-da-da-da-da. Like, that shit is cool. But when I can get into a space and give you a Kendrick swimming pools
Right.
about my battling with drinking, and everybody is singing a song, I win.
Exactly. It's just about intertwining the song with the technique and the abilities that you have.
No
just
doubt.
Incorporating it, which is, again, it's a hard concoction. It's not like it's an easy thing to do. There's only so many J. Coles in the world. There's only so many
Exactly.
Kendricks in the world. For a fucking reason, they figured out how to intertwine the two.
And take that shit to a massive level. And I know without a doubt that a nigga got the ability to be able to take it to that level.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, when you look at, if I just look at social media and YouTube and stuff, you had Motion Drop, right?
Yeah,
Everybody's going crazy, and then you got your on the radar freestyles. You got your freestyles where you're just one micing it, and when you drop those, it's like, okay, we can see both worlds. We can see the one where everybody does love the consciousness on the one mics. You're just spitting, you're just cutting into it. You're proving that your lyricism is top level, and then you can drop a song and you can drop a record like Motion, right, and still get that same type of result.
Yeah.
So the proof is right there, right?
Come on, proof of concept. Like, and I felt like when I created Motion, first and foremost, like, I created that record from a space of like, me and my girl was in my basement. I'm chilling in the studio with my girl just randomly. She at my house, and I heard the beat, and I don't write anymore. I write from time to time. Like, a lot of the shit on my album I wrote, but like, I've been creating freely lately. Whatever is on my heart, I'll articulate it, and if I can say something harder, then I'll come back in and attack it and write lines out. But when I created Motion, I didn't write nothing. Like, it just came out freely. And I sat on the first verse for probably like 2 weeks. I sent it to my team, and my team was like, bro, this is the bag that you need to be in, because you're not glorifying nothing. You telling your real raw reality.
Exactly.
Like, you feel me? Like, something as simple as it fucked me up to find out all the baddest bitches cokeheads.
Oh my God.
Like, that's a line.
Yeah.
But it's like, damn, I that's a real raw reality. I found out that some of the baddest bitches too, they play with their nose.
Facts.
You feel me? So like, me being able to be comfortable enough to say that in the song, that's something I would have said when nobody would have heard that song, because I have an image of being conscious, of being aware, which is where, like, if we going off data, when I first did my 10 Commandments project, that was strictly all consciousness. That was me heavily into the Hebrew Israelite school of thought. When I transitioned and we got the label deal and we did Poverty Stricken, when I dropped my song Ice, I had everybody looking at me crazy like, this ain't what we want from you. Why is you making commercial music? Why is you? And it showed me then like, okay, my fan base that I'm creating, y'all some one-dimensional motherfuckers. But it's because I'm one-dimensional. You attract what you are at the end of the day. So whatever I'm doing, I'm going to attract like-minded individuals that think how I'm articulating myself through music.
Yes.
You feel me? And Ice, I think Motion is going to be one of my highest streaming records. But Ice is one of my highest streaming records in the millions. And that reached the masses.
Exactly.
So it's like, do I want to appease... At this time, this is what I'm thinking. Do I want to appease those that's a part of this Hebrew Israelite school of thought and my faith and everything that I believe in and think is true? Or do I want to speak to the world? Do I want to speak to 5% of the population? Or do I want to talk to 95%?
Yeah. Your fan base has a cap, right? And
yeah,
every artist's goal is to keep breaking
past it, no
breaking
doubt.
past that cap. You know what I'm saying? And when you've seen it go worldwide instead of it just being local, it's like a scary thing because it's like, oh, my fans aren't fucking with it, but it's going worldwide.
But the world is fucking with it.
Yeah, and we all limit ourselves to that. Everybody, I always talk about the comedians in Detroit. I love what they're doing, but there's only a few amount of them that broke out because of the fact that they didn't just rap about buffs anymore. They didn't just rap about hood rats anymore. They didn't just rap about the strip clubs anymore.
No doubt.
They were like, yo, let's get into the mainstream comedy too. Like, let's break into real world. Like, everybody can relate to us on a nation standpoint, not
Facts.
just like what's going on in Detroit, which is hard for a lot of people to do. It's scary because, again, when you first post something on social media, the first people to see it is your fan base.
It's your fan base.
And
no
then
doubt.
when you're not seeing a response from them, it's almost like, fuck, like, I'm fucking up. But you didn't know if you put that shit in California, everybody in California would have been like, oh shit, but they just never seen it. That's why social media is pushing Reels now, and TikTok is huge because they're getting it to the masses. They're not just limiting it to your base anymore. I can use the restroom real quick. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Okay.
Want to shout out Van Housen for hooking us up with these t-shirts. I'm going to get you one on the way out, man.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, he
hell
hooked
yeah.
us up with some shit. You know what I'm saying? Got the line
And that
out
shit
there.
fire, too. I ain't gonna lie.
I like it. I like it a lot.
That shit fire.
Yeah, man. I think the reemerge. I also think, which is really, really fucking cool, we are seeing like a reemergence of Royce 2. You're a part of that. You guys are working together a lot. You guys had the Westside track drop, and I read the comments for that, and there was a lot of very positive feedback. And you know, this generation is very harsh and critical, but they showed a lot of support, especially to you. When I was reading about that, can you talk about that project a little bit?
I feel like, okay, so 2 things. The Westside record, Royce had already had a skeleton of it. And we were in the studio working on my album at that time. Like, I had lost my Instagram, so like it kind of fucked up everything. I got it back now, of course, but I had lost my Instagram for months, and that kind of put a damper on a lot of shit while we were working on the album. So that's where the birth of Microdose came from and all of that. So with the Westside shit, Royce had already had a skeleton of that record in the studio in regards to like a hook and a verse, and we were going through beats. And before I had heard the hook or the verse, as soon as he pressed play, like, well, I think I got something that you will fuck with. Man, as soon as that nigga pressed play when we was in the studio, I'm like, give it here.
Right.
Like, I need that. Like, this record is sonically big, it's gritty, it's nasty, and this will be a good introduction to our dynamic.
Yes.
I feel like it wasn't just a Royce record. It felt like a merge of me and his world. And that's how we created the record. But when we like put the record out, I had in my head, because like the type of fan base that Royce has, the type of fan base that Eminem has, like their fans are diehard fans of them. So if you don't rap like them, if you don't fit within the mode of their world, they fans can be harsh.
Yes.
And not fuck with you, even if you got that shit and you can lyrically go. If it's not their style of what they're used to, they not fucking with you. So it felt good to be received like, we fuck with him.
Yeah, there's like a hip hop community that's very, very dialed into like the actual nuances of a song, the intricacies of the lyrics, how everything's tied together. it's almost like some of them look at rap like a sport, like almost like how the motherfucker do this, how they tie it together, like how they make it happen, right? Versus it just being a song, which is really cool. But when you form those two, that's when you get that contrast of people listening to it as a song, and like you said, the hip hop heads that are really dissecting it, almost like it's a history lesson for them. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
Shit's
For
fucking
sure.
fire.
Hell yeah.
It's cool to see that those sides are existent. You notice that with basketball too. There's people who like really break down Kobe's game. Like I watched it just like as a person, I'm just watching Kobe play. Like I love watching what the fuck he's doing. There's people like, nah, his footwork though, nah, the way he did this. I'm like, damn, you guys really break it down. Like you really love it. Like you really love it to that level. Are you still a fan of hip hop on that level?
Hell yeah.
As far as soaking it up, like what have you been paying attention to as far as hip hop's concerned? Just the general state of hip hop.
The state of the culture and the difference, like me and bro were just talking about that, the state of the culture and the difference between the industry and the culture. Not to do a conquer and divide thing, but I feel Drake is industry. I feel like Kendrick Lamar is culture. It's two totally different things. It's like rap and hip hop at the end of the day. You have a rap artist and you got a hip hop artist. So it's like, for me, I'm a diehard student to all of this shit. I study Kendrick. Kendrick is like my favorite artist. He's in my top 5 for sure. I studied Pac. You feel me? I studied KRS-One. I studied Big L. Jay-Z, of course. Nas. AZ. Like, me being a student to them, Andre 3000, of course. I can go on and list 1,000,001 fucking names. But me being a student to this is what has gotten me to where I am now for the city. If we just speaking from a cultural standpoint, I feel like I'm learning and I'm bringing out so many different elements that so many different generations are going to be able to pull from and fuck with. Just because of like my personality and like I'm authentic with it. So I learned through studying the culture what longevity can look like or what short-lived shit can look like.
Right.
Which is culture and industry shit.
Yes.
It's a bunch of microwavable music that'll come out and niggas will have hits, and within 2 to 5 years they're gone.
No, bro, literally there's so many songs that I was listening to from 2017 till 2021 that I thought I would never stop listening to. I just recently listened, like I had a re-up of that shit recently. I was like, bro, this shit didn't last like the test of time. It was just in that moment that it was
in
fire.
that moment. It makes
But I'm
sense.
still listening to Tupac. I'm still listening to Biggie. Big L, put it on. I'm still running put it on all the fucking time. Like I'm still listening. Isn't that crazy? I probably run 90s and early 2000s music more ever than I've ever run anything newer ever. Like,
come on,
to this day.
Facts.
It just comes from a different time.
And it's just like sonically, like me and my girl was watching this movie last night, and Nook If You Buck came on in the background. And regardless to where you at in the world, Nook If You Buck is still a fucking hit record to this day, till this day. I'll put Nook If You Buck on and I'll go right back to my childhood. So it's like, even records within that space that can still stand the test of times based off, you feel me, what you were just saying. Like, that's what I'm in this shit for. You feel me? Like, I'm in this shit because not only am I a student of hip hop and I love rap music, but I'm in this shit to leave my name when it's said and done. The money gonna come. The numbers ain't gonna do nothing but get bigger the more I dial in creatively with myself. You feel me? But like, I'm in this shit to have my name as one of the greatest. I'm not in this shit to be playing. And for the past 5 to 6 years, me being an artist, I've been playing with this shit. You feel me? Now it's time to take this shit to the next level, like we were talking about. And nigga, let's really create songs now. Let's really create music.
All artists have that. It's just the personal life always interferes with the entertainment, right? You know what I mean? Especially you're talking about you had a relationship that you ended up having to break up, and that shit hurts an artist so much. It's like a very deep-rooted pain when you have to go through that shit, even as an entertainer or whatever you're doing, right? What did you learn from your experience of when you had your breakup?
That I didn't know myself at all. I didn't have a real consciousness. I would say, and what I mean by consciousness is like my level of awareness to myself. Like I said, prior to ayahuasca and diving deep into psychedelics and shit like that, I just live life. I feel like how every young nigga from the city lived it. You feel me? I fuck up, I cheat, I lie. That's just is what it is. But from that breakup, I was able to start to get to the root of like, damn, I got mama issues. I got childhood wounds from my mama. I got father issues. Damn, I I'm mischievous or I done did street shit because I had abandonment issues from this space. I felt like I was always by myself. And when you start to get to the root of a lot of like your reasons why you do shit, that breakup stemmed from that. Like, it really helped me start to wake up and look at myself like, damn, bro, you're a fucked up individual, and that's okay. Real shit. Like, it's okay to be fucked up once you become aware that you're fucked up. You don't have to be a fucked up person for the rest of your life. And I started to take accountability of my ways, because even with like my ex, it wasn't on her why we broke up. We both were in a space of not being aware of self. And I had got to a space to where I felt like our path wasn't going in the same direction. You feel me? So like me walking away from her, having my first real heartbreak and all of that shit, my heart had to break to actually start to work. For me to become aware, for me to start to feel love, for me to not be nonchalant or not be a hoe ass nigga when it comes to certain shit within the relationship space, because I didn't grow up in an environment where my mama and daddy was in the same environment. I didn't grow up in a 2-parent household. I don't know what, at that point in time, I didn't know what love really looked like, because the niggas that I grew up around that was married was still fucking off on their wives. They were still doing this and doing that. So when you start to get to the root of shit, you start to have your own mind, your own thoughts. You actually start to become a conscious being. Becoming a conscious being to me is not just, oh, I know this. I know the government is doing this. I know this fucked up shit that's going on. It's becoming mindful and aware of yourself and how you've been programmed. Yes. Now it's time for you to take control of your program and start to delete a lot of this software that's within your computer. Exactly. Because a lot of these softwares and programs that you've been running, it's from your cousin. It's from your brother. It's from people that you love, whose characteristics you took from. You feel me? So I feel like I was just a melting pot of so many different people and things, even musically. Like when I first started to create, and why so many people call me the Detroit Kendrick, because it's like when I first started to take my music serious, all I was listening to was Kendrick. So unconsciously, when I create, I'm creating from the standpoint of somebody that I'm studying a lot. Right. Opposed to discovering my own voice and discovering myself, which I feel like I've done now. I still have elements of what Kendrick would do. I still have elements of a Jay-Z or Nas or a Rakim, a Little L. I still have those elements, but I feel like I'm discovering myself and my voice now, finally.
When what you're talking about, in India, they really talk about the karmic system. And a lot of people think what karma is that you did something wrong, so that something wrong is now going to happen to you in the future, which is not the case. Karma is just memory. It's action that turns into memory. No doubt. And from birth, we have 8 layers of memory, stemming from atomic memory to generational memory to our ancestral memory, to what our mind becomes, what we accumulate throughout this time of our existence. And everything that you're accumulating has a cause and effect on how you start becoming as a human being, how you start becoming, whether it comes to your physicality, whether it comes to your psychology, however it works. So while we're gathering all this memory and this karma, we're creating tendencies within ourselves that cause us to act certain ways when certain circumstances approach. No doubt. So the whole purpose of gurus and the whole purpose of consciousness is to break down that karma as much as possible and get to the root of just being alive and being in the moment and being existence without your memory and your physicality affecting you. Because we're all just constantly responding to situations based upon our memory. We're not responding to it within us just being whole and in the moment. We're responding to it because, like you said, your brother did something to you. So therefore, in the future, when something like that similarly happens, you're
reacting from that memory.
Yeah, you're reacting from that memory. So that's the whole point of breaking down all of your karma. What I really recommend people do is break down your physical karma, which is by getting tons of exercise, right? Yoga, meditation, eating healthy, what you're consuming, right? Yeah. And then for the psychological aspect of it, you have to really start believing that everybody is one. If you don't start believing that everybody is one, then you're never going to win. Like, you're always going to be lost in this game of trying to one up on somebody or try to be better or try to cause a divide. And the more divide you cause with other people and within yourself, the more lost of a human you're going to be.
For sure, the more you divide yourself.
Yeah, but when you're in your deathbed, you know what you're going to be thinking? Right now, everybody's thinking about, bro, how much money do I got? Where's my career going? What's my girl doing? The moment you're about to die, you're literally going to look and be like, bro, what the fuck was I thinking about this entire time?
What was I doing?
Yeah, I was just this piece of life. I never paid attention to this piece of life I was. Instead, I paid attention to all these stupid little things. That's why when people bring up like stupid small talk, or when they bring up like just talking bad about other people, I almost start losing my mind, because I'm like, bro, we're in this moment right now, existing, experiencing life, and we're talking about somebody else's psychology and how their psychology is affecting our psychology right now.
100.
So our psychology is damn near useless. It's only useful when you have to use it for guiding people, helping people, being a part of other people's lives, taking care of your own wellness. But it's not good to use it to cause divide or to make yourself as a bigger impediment of life and what it is itself.
Which stems from the ego. So it's like, you feel me, to speak to that, I feel like that is what helped me get to the space that I am now, becoming aware of what karma truly is and practicing mindfulness and awareness with myself, which comes from everything you just broke down, from psychological to physical to emotional, spiritual, intellectual. All of those things stem from your diet. Yeah. And I tell all my niggas all the time, like, bro, your diet does not just consist of what you put into your mouth. It's what your eyes watch. It's what your ears take in. You feel me? It's the counsel that you have, the words that you exchange with people. It's the food that you put in your mouth. It's what you drink. All of these things can cause a chemical imbalance and keep you in a state of sleep.
And also sexually too.
Oh, sexually.
That's why people, I understand the poly culture. I understand like having sex with multiple partners, cheating, whatever the hell, or just having as much sex as you want. But people don't realize the amount of energy you exchange with the other person that you're sleeping with in that moment. Sure. You're literally accumulating part of what they are, part of their memory when you sleep with them. So when you're accumulating all this extra karma that's not even fucking from within, it's literally from external sources, you're also adding more karma to your system, which is now new karma you have to break down. So when people brag about cheating or when people brag about how many women they slept with, I'm like, man, you right now, at the moment you're having fun, bro. But in a year or 2 years, it's really going to start seeping in and it's going to start exuding from you. It's going to start showing.
Because it has to come out. That energy has to come out. And that taught me early on, like when I dived into the Hebrew Israelite school of thought, by that time I was young, but like I had already stopped having sex and fucking a lot of women. You feel me? I was only fucking my girl at the time. Well, exchanging energy with my girl fucking is so harsh to me.
It's a harsh word,
yeah,
bro.
That fucking is a real harsh word.
Crazy word.
But I was only exchanging energy with one woman. You know what I mean? So like you do learn that over time, the people that you do exchange energy with, you're exchanging DNA codes as well. You feel me? So the energy breaks down to your DNA at the end of the day. So it's like with me exchanging my DNA with your DNA, I may wake up a week later because you were depressed. Now I'm depressed and I don't know why I'm depressed and I can't pinpoint it. But then you don't realize like, damn, I did fuck girly. That's what mindfulness comes with in my reality. So like I started that shit young, bro, and it taught me that like it's much deeper than just laying down.
Just like how you brought up food earlier and all the things we consume. The food we consume is insane because when you're eating beef, when you're eating chicken, when you're eating all this DNA from other creatures that have a completely different DNA structure than us.
Facts.
We're consuming their DNA structure. Not only that, before animals pass away, before they kill the animals,
fear.
The fear that is instilled within them causes toxins to release in their system. So you're literally eating this hypersensitive toxin from these animals, and your body has to break down their DNA, which our body's not used to breaking down their DNA.
Facts.
The longest known creature that we've been animal that we've been eating is fish. So it's the easiest for humans to break down. That's the easiest part of consumption.
It assimilates with the body way better than the chicken, the beef, and all of that type of shit.
Exactly. So the food we're consuming, the people we're sleeping with, the things we're consuming, audio, visual wise, and all these things are destroying us at the end of the day. That's why these fucking guys go out into the caves and the mountains. Like, I don't want to fucking deal with you motherfuckers. Like, I'm about to live in the mountains.
And you know what? I feel like when it's said and done, when I really, and I feel it's very near, when I really start to see finances from like rap music at a high level, I'm disappearing, bro. Like, you feel me? Like, cause I'm in a space where I'm ready to have children and everything that comes with that. And it's like, to the best of my ability, my kids can't be raised in society. They have to be raised in it to understand the duality of both, right? But it's like, bro, once real money come in, bro, nigga gonna be somewhere on his own land in the middle of nowhere, bro. Like, if I was given the opportunity to either continue to do music or disappear and just go into a jungle with indigenous tribes and like opt out of the system, I swear to God, I will opt out of the system and not give two fucks, bro.
Yeah.
No cap.
I bet you if you could pay somebody to run your social media, you would do it.
Hell, fuck yeah. And you know what? That's another thing. Once I get to the space to where my finances is crazy, music is going crazy, everything is what it is, I will be so far removed from social media, bro.
Yeah.
I get on when I have to, of course, because running away from it doesn't doesn't stop the problem if you're addicted to social media, or if social media does distract you, because it is a tool at the end of the day to spread whatever your message or brand is to the masses.
Yeah.
But like to pay somebody to be like, manage my shit, hell yeah, I'm for sure paying somebody to manage my shit.
That's what my guru, I follow a guru, his name is Sadhguru, and that's what he talks about. He said he's experienced life to the point where when they got deep into meditation, they realized there is nothing. So like everybody that's thinking there's like a meaning to life, there's something there. He said, we've already dived as far as we can go. There's nothing. He's like, the only reason I'm here is because I know the general society itself needs help and guidance.
No doubt.
And so that sounds like the same thing that you're doing. It's almost like I'm only here because I need to help. I need to still give guidance. If you wanted to, if you didn't have any family or friends or anybody you had to help or do anything for anybody, I'm sure there's a huge part of you that would be more isolated than you are right now.
For sure. I wouldn't give a fuck about social media. I'll be somewhere in the middle of nowhere, like I just said. Of course, not by myself, but like I have a select few people that's like-minded that I fuck with. But outside of that, bro, I know I'm here and I'm called to raise the collective consciousness at the end of the day. And that's not an easy task, doing it how I've been doing it. In order to infiltrate this system, of course, I can't lose integrity with the things that I speak about in my music, because that's why people come to me. That's why people love Courtney for who he is and who this energy form is at the end of the day. Yeah. But it's like now, like I said, like now it's time to give them music still. Like I can create a whole conscious album and have 4 songs on there that is vibes, that's bops, you feel me, without losing my integrity as an artist and feeling like I gotta rap about bitches and hoes and drug dealing and killing and everything that your average artist will rap about. And I feel like ain't shit wrong with that to a certain extent, because we exist in duality, so polar opposites have to exist at the end of the day, you feel me? So I used to be on a shunning the trap shit, but I got niggas that's really in that life. So like that music speaks to them. That's raw reality for them at the end of the day. So who am I to tell you like, nigga, you need to stop creating this because it's poison in the minds. Even if I do personally feel like that, I don't have to listen to it. Yeah. My children, when I have children, don't have to listen to it. But because we do exist in duality, you feel me? Everything serves its purpose at the end of the day. We wouldn't be where we are now if the good and the bad didn't exist. You feel me? Because it's all one. It's all the same at the end of the day. It's like separating the creator from the devil. Yeah. You feel me? Everything serves its purpose.
That's my favorite saying about good and bad, is that there is no good and bad. It's just people fluctuating between the two.
No doubt.
Nobody's like fucking living. That's why people always get caught up and shit like, oh, you're saying you're doing all this great shit, but then I seen you at the hotel with the girl the other day. It's like, man, motherfuckers are going to catch you up. Oh, goddamn. And look at Will Smith. Like, that was a duality situation where he was literally the biggest star in the world. Everybody loved him. Everybody praised him. He could do no wrong. Then he went and slapped Chris Rock. And then the whole world freaked out and was like, what the fuck's happening? They can't believe this shit just happened live on TV and shit. Fuck this guy. And now look, he drops the new Bad Boys movie and everybody's like, I love Will Smith. And everybody forgot. Like, they didn't forget, but it's like his presence is still strong enough for you to look past it, everything.
For sure. And it's like the world wants you to be perfect, bro. Society wants you to be perfect, wants you display what perfection is that the word I want to say? When you exhort a piece of what a perfectionist looks like, the world takes that and that's the only image they're going to run with. You feel me? So that ties back into music and everything that we do with music, or if you're some form of entertainment. If you show the good, the people will only look for the, they're only looking for the good, but they're really looking for the bad, because they're waiting to be able to like, got you, you fucked up. You feel me? Or you did this stupid shit, when it's like at the end of the day, behind closed doors, you doing so much whole shit. Not you personally, of course, but you feel me?
I mean, I live.
Yeah. Like, we do so much bullshit behind closed doors. And I feel like with how I approach music and just how I present myself on social media, so many people fuck with it because it's authenticity. I ain't about to fake for none of y'all motherfuckers, because I did that at a point in time. I felt like I had to be a certain image, to the point to where my manager was telling me, he's telling me this now, of course, but he like, years ago, bro, when you was strictly into the Hebrew Israelite shit and studying into this and you was just strictly spiritual, you had a lot of people looking at you sideways, but they had so much love for you that they didn't want to tell you that to your face.
Yeah.
But it's like you preaching this on social media, but you getting drunk and fucked up behind closed doors, and you living life. You're experiencing yourself. So you have a lot of people that'll pull me to the side like, oh, I didn't know Courtney was like that. I thought he was ... So now that I'm hearing these conversations, it's like, damn, bro. When you in that shit, you don't realize how other people are viewing you. And during that space, I cared about what people thought about me. So I did my best to, in the light, to be as perfect as I can be. When it's like, bro, fuck all of that shit. Where I am now, you either fuck with me or you don't.
Facts.
You feel me? Because I know I'm a pure soul. I know I have pure intentions. Am I perfect? Fuck no. You feel me? But am I authentic? Hell yeah. I ain't about to sit up and tell you to do something that I wouldn't do. I wouldn't tell you to change your diet if I don't eat fruit 80% of the time only. You feel me? And I learned even through that space with me pushing the fruitarian diet, people will get on my live when I eat a French fry like, oh, I thought you ate all fruit. It's like, fuck all you, right, nigga. Let me eat my French fries, bro. Mind your fucking business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I said all that shit to say because we were talking about the Will Smith shit. Like, bro, like, niggas is, people in general will always look for the negative in you and will forget all of the great that you've done, all of your greatest accomplishments. The moment a nigga find out, like, oh yeah, that nigga was in a hotel with a OnlyFans bitch. Yeah, that nigga fucked up. When it's like, yeah, he made a fucked up decision, but he's not a fucked up individual. You feel me? And that's where the duality exists at. Like, bro, I done made fucked up decisions in my life. I done did shit out here. I'm not perfect. I ain't no saint. You feel me? And that's what I want to bring back to the music space.
Yeah, I read a lot about prison, and that a lot of people in prison, a lot of them, they just came to a breaking point where, like, they made a wrong, even though they were good people, in just one small instance they made a bad decision. And now they're serving 25 to life for it. It's never that they live this crazy chaotic life of evil and murderous lifestyle. It's like literally just one point they had a breaking point. Their system reacted in a way that they lost control over, and now everybody's like, you're a criminal, you're a felon, there's no coming back, there's no redeemability for you, you're not coming back from that. Which is, everybody is going to look at that and be like, yeah, but fuck those people. But it's at the same time, when you look at humanity, it's like, damn, I still feel for people.
Bro.
I still feel for people.
All the time. Like, and even something small, like, from a personal standpoint, you feel me? Because I like speaking from a personal standpoint to make it even more relatable. While away from music, you feel me, I caught 2 DUIs. Now, to society and to the system, it looks like I'm an alcoholic and I have a problem and I need therapy. I need all of these things. But in reality, I don't even drink like that. I just made 2 fucked up decisions back to back. When I first caught my first DUI, I was drinking a lot because I just lost my grandmother. You feel me? My grandma had just died. But once I went through sobriety through that space and realized why I was drinking, I slowed my drinking all the way down. Yeah. When I had caught my second DUI, I wasn't even drunk. I wasn't fucked up, none of that. I was right above the limit and caught my second DUI, but it goes back to what I said, the universe repeats lessons until you get it.
Yeah.
I learned to not be drinking and running away from my problems and using a bottle, but I didn't learn the importance of not getting behind the wheel if I had anything to drink, because growing up, if we talking about based off memory, I think my daddy drank drunk and drive all the time. My mama did it. My cousins did it. So that's a memory that I have of I can slide through the cracks. I'm good as long as I ain't getting fucked up. I learned from the first one. So when I caught the second one, I damn near cried in the cell like, what the fuck? Why are you here again? But as I've navigated through being on probation within this space, I've grown so much as a man that I realized that this was a lesson that I needed to learn.
Yeah.
And going through this stage of life, like every death that I've experienced within the 4 years of being away from this music shit, bro, I was able to drink to be able to soothe or cope with the pain. When my little brother died, nigga, I had to deal with the raw reality of that because I'm on probation actively now. So it's like I had to deal with the raw reality of death. You feel me? And for the past 27 years, I've been able to drink it and then I deal with it as it comes. So to deal with raw reality with that nigga dying, it was just like, yo. But it let me know through dealing with his death sober that it's like, oh, I can conquer the world now, bro.
Yeah. Has it been easier for you now, like overcoming that or like getting through that process?
With death or
with your brother?
Nah, man. I feel like you'll never you'll grow with time and wisdom, but that pain will never go away.
Right.
You'll never, like, I still haven't accepted that he transcended. I haven't accepted the fact that, damn, Blue Bro dead. You feel me? And whenever it hit, it's gonna hit. Like, I cried at his viewing, but it wasn't no real cry. It was just like, damn, this is fucked up. I was more in shock than anything. You feel me? But, yeah, I feel like it's gonna come with time. You feel me? And I feel like I have a high level of understanding with life itself, the energy of life. So that gives me a peace that surpasses my own understanding with it. You feel me? Even when my grandma died, you feel me? Best friend. I think I lost so many people within the space of being away from music. But like I said, I was able to drink. So with him dealing with this shit raw, I deal with it every day.
Yeah.
This ain't no just, oh, it hit me in moments. It do hit me in waves where like I might shed a tear. Or like I did a mushroom trip like a few days ago, and I just stared at his obituary for like 30 minutes. Like, damn. Like, bitch, you really died on me. And I laughed about it like, damn, bitch, you really gone. Like, you really not here. And the more I say that out loud, like, the reality is settling in. But, like, what do I tell his mama? Like, you feel me? Like, when I look at his mama lost her child. So when I go see her and me and my brothers talk to her, like, the real raw reality hit. Like, I can only imagine what she's feeling because of what me and my brothers feel. You feel what I'm saying? So it just put a battery in my back. When he died, like, I gotta make this music shit happen, bro. Yeah. I have to take this shit to the next level. Fuck me at this point. You feel me? Because there's so many people that's died that started this shit with me. That we had conversations of what we gonna do when we break through the ceiling and money is not an issue to us and people are singing our songs and we're doing tours and we're doing all of that. Like, I envision doing this shit with my brother by my side, with my uncle here, with my sister here, my best friend here, my grandma. I told her I was gonna buy her a house. Like, to not be able to do those type of things now in the physical, it's a different type of pain.
Yeah.
But you learn through the journey of healing. You learn what real alchemy is. You feel me? You learn how to transmute energy and not just sit in it. You feel me? Because everything serves its purpose. Had my little brother not died, I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't have the thought pattern that I have today. I wouldn't be moving how I'm moving now if he was still alive.
Right.
So I know that everything serves its purpose and everything is in divine order. Life is life. Life is going to happen to us whether we want it to or not. It's automatic. It's gonna happen. It's written to happen. How the fuck is gonna happen? So I know now with where I am right now in this moment, learning how to be in the present, bro. It's like it's music or nothing for me now.
Yeah.
Real shit.
It's just full involvement, right? It's just full involvement and high intensity into it. So that the people that were a part of it, so that the people that are a part of it now can be inspired and but also so that there was meaning behind what they did too. Everybody that passed away through all of our times, they know that, well, whatever way you want to say it, but their involvement mattered.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Their involvement will continue because we're continuing that involvement that they had. You know, and that's where it all comes down to bringing consciousness to people. Because if you're conscious, you're able to understand that instead of suffering, yes, we'll suffer, but once we start to evolve a little bit more and time goes by, we learn how to utilize our suffering to create greatness or to create some type of positiveness into it somehow. Some people can't do that. I mean, some people, man, the music that comes out these days, you can hear the pain in it. Mm-hmm. And I'm almost like, damn, we're just the kind of regurgitating pain. For sure. You know, and that can impact people. But, I mean, that's why I'm so happy that you're here and that you're a part of this, man. I think that you're, again, like you said earlier, I know, like, you're not, nobody can really compete with you as far as lyricism. Damn, I'm getting in trouble for saying it because I know somebody's gonna beat my ass for it, but lyricism,
I mean, tell them niggas bring it if that's how they feel.
I believe in it. I believe it though, because when I look at the lyricism level, I don't see anybody that competes with it, honestly. Like, I really try to break it down. I know there's some rap battle artists that can compete to some level, but they're not really creating music. They're more in the rap battle scene and they're really impactful in that area. So that's kind of where they're sticking to it. But as far as creating songs and as far as creating lyrics that are very impactful, I think you are going to be the forefront. And I'm sure the album is going to help a lot with that too. Yeah. Can you talk about the album coming out and the projects?
So I can't reveal the name yet, but Microdose is out now.
Yep.
As far as the mixtape, those were like skeletons of like when I first started to create what I thought I wanted the album to sound like. So a lot of those records is just like throwaway records of like first cuts of like ideas of the theme of the actual album. So the actual album, I'm not sure the date that we're gonna release or none of that yet, but I feel like this, if you're not a fan of Courtney Belle now, that album is gonna completely bring you into my world, and the duality that I exist in. You feel me? But with Microdose, I just wanted Microdose to be something dope and just like have different vibes and flavors for some of everybody coming back into the music space. And I feel like we warmed the market up, and we're warming the market up good because the music is streaming well. Conversations are being had that I'm aware of and that I'm unaware of. So for me now, it's just collecting data. Like, okay, the people actually like motion. Okay, I can give them that on 1,000 now with my album. Like everything that I'm on now is like database, and just like being thankful that I'm from Detroit. You feel me? And that I'm really from Detroit. Like I feel like a lot of artists, and why a lot of niggas don't resonate with some of the whether it's a Big Sean or Royce or M for our generation, was because like a lot of us got real stories. A lot of us was like really badass kids that was tied to certain gangs in Detroit from the west side to the east side. So a lot of us grew up around each other and niggas chose their side. But we, once upon a time, whether we were 15 or 16, I can look back and be like, oh yeah, I remember such and such. I remember him being on the block.
Yeah.
I remember some of the shit he rapping about. I remember seeing that. You know what I'm saying? So it actually connects you to an artist being from the same city. And I feel like this ain't no shade to niggas, but I feel like with certain niggas within the space of like M is far removed from this generation of artists that we have. Not to say like our parents' generation, they can remember maybe seeing Eminem and him being at the hip hop show and him being at Ebony's, and our fathers and aunts within that age range can remember that. But we don't have nothing for our generation that niggas can relate to. Niggas just know he's one of the greatest rappers of all time, and he from this bitch. Same thing with Royce. He's within that same vein. I personally feel like where a lot of the disconnect can come from.
Right.
I can't really say about Sean because I don't fully know his upbringing. You feel me? But like to really be from here, I feel like niggas gotta have a real story. You gotta have like some crazy, not even crazy shit. You just gotta be able to have a story of your upbringing to where niggas can be like, oh yeah, no, I remember Courtney when he was 15 years old. Like that little nigga was crazy.
Yeah.
I remember when Courtney was 17. I remember when he went vegan. I remember when he found it. So for me, personally tying all of this shit in, I feel like that matters as an artist in your city. And where you come from. Like people have to be able to have tangible stories and memories that like they can touch you and remember. Like, nah, bro really from Joy Road. I seen him walking to Cody. I seen him at the Murder Mac. Like I seen him up there. Like can't no nigga get on no podcast and be like, man, that nigga T ain't from Joy Road. Can't nobody say that, because a lot of us that's really from the hood, I seen cuz really walk through the hood. I seen him and Cody. We both went to Cody together. Yeah. You feel me? My little cousin Marmar, free Marmar. Like, can't nobody say niggas is not really from the hood, or the shit that niggas is rapping about don't have no truth or realness to it. Because a lot of us that's really from the hood and citywide, niggas seen niggas put in work or seen niggas do some of the shit that they rapped about behind cameras and outside of a mic. So that's what I want to bring back to the music space, that divine balance of raw reality. You feel me? So like that's what the album is gonna be about. It's just gonna be about my raw reality and my experiences and my upbringing from the city. You feel me? Just taking it to another level sonically, because I do feel like I have been, and I'm really the forefront of lyricism for our generation. So for now, it's up to me to mix in the candy with the medicine.
Exactly.
You feel me? And give them sonically pleasing music. You feel me? And still take lyricism to the next level, because I can still rap, but it's about how I articulate myself with the vibes and the bops. So
exactly,
a nigga looking forward to now that I'm back in the music space, to really just being consistent and learning all of the lessons that I need to learn now, because I feel like that's what's been holding me back. Me taking time away from music, I didn't learn nothing in the music space because I wasn't involved in it. I was still creating music. But now that I'm back in it, I'm learning lessons that I should have learned 4 years ago.
Yeah.
You feel me? And that's all the way down to a relationship with my woman that I currently have now, my girl, music, finances, all of these things, all of the lessons that I'm learning now, I was supposed to learn years ago. But I'm learning it now because I have the emotional intelligence, thanks to Royce for that, to be able to navigate through this shit now the right way.
Yeah.
And just take everything that comes with being an artist and 100% dependent on music.
Oh, for sure. That's an immense amount of clarity, right? And that's that clarity with that confidence is what's gonna make it possible for you to make these creations at the end of the day.
Facts.
I really appreciate you doing this, man. I appreciate you being a part of this. We did an interview a couple of years ago that did very well, and people were very, very receptive of it. And I know they're going to be very receptive of this too. It's very important talk. You know, a lot of times when we talk on this couch, you know, we're always joking around or just talking about rap and stuff like that, but to talk about life itself is a very important thing. So I appreciate you being able to dive into this with us. We're at Parallel Sound Studio, High Level Visual, shooting these productions. We're out. Peace. Fire, man.